Well, you see that India is on a crossroad after this conflict of US-Israel with Iran, because Strait of Hormuz has been disrupted. The energy trade flows, 20% of LNG as well as 20% of crude along with LPG flows from this very narrow strait. And India is very adversely impacted because India imports around 60 to 70% of its LPG, and out of which 90% comes from the Strait of Hormuz. So it has directly impacted every household, I would say, in the country which uses LPG. Indian government is trying hard because it's not easy to replace 14 to 15 million metric ton of LPG per annum which comes from this narrow strait. And they have increased the production in refineries. They are searching alternative routes, and they are procuring LPG. They are very flexible in contracting LPG from US, from Argentina, and from Russia, and from the other sources wherever it is available. Government companies like Indian Oil Corporation, BPC, HPC, they are working hard so that the households, whichever uses LPG, they don't face any issues. Now, as far as crude is concerned, again around 40% of crude which India consumed, around 5.2 million barrels per day, comes from this Strait of Hormuz, which has got impacted, and therefore Indian government, and through their PSUs like again IOC, BPC, HPC, they have started looking for the alternative sources. They have done well in procuring a lot of crude from Russia, and in fact the OFAC order has also helped, where the sanctioned crude is also now being considered for importing into the country. But at the same time, the LNG, which is around 50% of the total gas consumption of the country, LNG has got literally impacted, because the country is around 65% LNG flows from Middle East, and out of which around 60% is from Strait of Hormuz. And two major producers, Qatar as well as ADNOC, both are down. Qatar, there are 2 trains which have been destroyed and they have declared force majeure. And ADNOC also, they are unable to supply LNG to India. And therefore, as far as CNG and PNG is concerned, the households, wherever PNG connections are there, government is holding its own, and they are providing uninterrupted supplies to the households. But at the same time, the worst hit has been the household, not the households, but the industries, where the cut has been more than, I would say, 50%.